Okay, first time say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Hashem, Al Shai, Hashem, Gakodash. And your double honor say others, apostles, teacher, great minister from my language, truth. I say shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. And I'm gonna turn this on being reborn, um, to fully and properly understand the truth, because the word of Lord Yahweh Hashem Al Shai, you can't mix it with other doctrines, and you can't look at it from from a worldly type of standpoint. That's why here's first a ton of scriptures just flash in my mind. I hope I can remember them. First Peter 2:2. 1. Let me see. Wherefore laying aside all malice, all guile, all and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes, desirous and still milk of the word, that you may grow thereby. And it says, as newborn babes. Uh, nope. And this is what I was looking for, because what we have to be reborn when you go into the baptism. The whole idea of baptism is to be pretty much reborn. But there's a physical baptism, there's a spiritual baptism, which is being baptized in the water of the word, immersing yourself in the word of the Lord by reading and studying, and through that you become a new man. And this is John 3:4. And once again, being reborn anew. Like when you first came into the world, you didn't know anything, but you learned in accordance to the ways of the world. But when you come into the truth, being born again, what do you have to do? You have to pretty much be a clean slate. And this said, laying aside all malice, all hypocrisies. Like what? Laying aside and putting down, the ways that you thought when you were in the world. That's why it goes into a new man, a new creature. No longer partaking in the ways that you may have been in the past. No longer partaking in the thoughts and the thought processes and ideologies, that you partook in the past. And this is why a lot of Jakes can't fully understand the truth. Especially like you got like Sakari, ISUBK, and maybe random niggas in the world. They try to mix nigga culture with the truth. That's why they have t-shirt fringes. That's why they have all the fucking weird ass wayward doctrines that they have, because they haven't been 100% reborn through the word. And what I really want to focus on is like just regular niggas who can't accept the truth. Why? Because they look at it from the standpoint of the doctrines and philosophies that they've been in. Once again, you have to pretty much be a clean slate when you come to the truth. Throw out what you knew before. And it says sincere milk. What infants, babies nurse on milk, the basics of the scriptures. And then those build into meat, deeper things of the scriptures. But you have to start with the basics, and you can't mix the basics of the scriptures with the basics of the world, because the world is literally the polar opposite of what you have in the Bible, of the true understanding of the Bible. So John 3:4. You know what? 3, Yahweh shall answer and say unto him, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of Yahweh. And we go into Romans chapter 1, and the last few verses, it pretty much goes into how all of those characteristics are characteristics of niggas. A nigga isn't going to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And once again, you have a nigga is not born again. He's still in the ways of the world, which is why he can't enter into the kingdom of heaven. Because what? Flesh and blood can't enter into the kingdom of heaven. Niggas won't get into the kingdom of heaven. Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter a second time to his mother's womb and be born? Yahushua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter to the kingdom of Yahweh. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, that which is born of the Spirit is a spirit. Once again, you have to be born again in the Spirit. Marvel not that I say unto thee, you must be born again. And he said, What of born of water and of the Spirit, which is referring to the word, because the scriptures refer to as water. Just like when you have baptism, like once again, you have being baptized, being immersed into the scriptures, into the understanding. You know, and what example of that is understanding that everybody isn't going to make it, and those people may be your family members. You know, in the world, you would think that that's not right. Not one of I think this was his past camp where one of the brothers mentioned pretty much the topic of how you have a nigga that will hear something like that. Oh, yeah, it was, I forgot who it was that said that the truth separates you from your family. Well, Israelites separate you from your family, which isn't true. Now the Lord may separate you from your family, but you don't have like Israelite. Well, you do have some Israelite camps that do that dumb shit, but you're not supposed to like be keeping. You're not supposed to like be fucking strong arming and putting up like decrees and say you can't meet up with your family. You can't do this. Like you once again, you're not supposed to be like, let's say your holiday, right? You can go and eat a holiday meal, but you're not in the same spirit of celebrating holidays. There are certain things that you're not going to be able to do with friends. You're not going with friends, maybe even with family. Once again, why? Because you're moving differently. You're no longer of the world. But that's a part of that being born again. Having that understanding that there are certain things that people you may be close to are going to be doing, and you knowing Yahweh Shema Shai, what he expects, aren't going to be able to partake in those things. A nigga in the world is he's gonna turn his back on the truth to go back, because that's too harsh a thing. Now I'm not saying like you can be around your family, obviously, but you can't you're not going to be partaking in certain things. For example, holidays. Hope that made sense. The scripture refers to put off the old man. Once again, and yeah, and it's Romans 6:6, 3:1. Yeah, 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Yahweh forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized into Yahushua Mashiach were baptized into his death? We're not actually dead, but spiritually, we were dead to the ways of the world. Once again, being born again. Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Mashiach was raised up from dead by the Lord the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. And that's essentially what it means. Walking in, that's a simpler way to put it. Being born again means you walk in newness of life, a different way. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall also be in likeness of his resurrection. There's gonna like what Yahweh Shai, he died, and he got his new body, and it's gonna be the same thing for our people as a whole, but chiefly the elect. Knowing that Mashiach being raised from the dead dieth no more, death hath no more dominion over him. For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he liveth unto Yahweh. Likewise, reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, which means no longer willingly partaking in sin. Which, you notice I use the word willingly, not being a demon, not using liberty and his grace as a cloak of maliciousness to sin. A just man may fall 7 times, yes, but you don't fall on purpose. You fall by accident, you know? That many times your flesh may get the better of you. You may, mistakes are going to happen. Obviously, like, there's certain things that's, you see, you can, it's preventable to eat a pork chop. It's not it's not preventable, if that's the correct way to put that, or say that word, to eat pork that has been put into, I don't know, a 100% USDA approved beef sirloin steak without you even knowing. That's not something that you could prevent because you wouldn't know. But there's a difference with your intentions. That's what goes into your intentions. You can choose to either deal with a dude's woman, or you can choose to go find a woman who doesn't have a dude. You don't, whoops, you don't just slip and fall and, you just, your pants around your ankles and, her legs locked around you. When they're in her render, your heart, your hand clasped tightly in hers, and that wedding ring on. You don't just slip and fall into that. That's not a situation that you just slip and fall into. Now, obviously, once again, that's why it goes into the Lord knows your intentions. It's all about your intent. There's chicks out here that will lie. That's something that you wouldn't know about. But if a chick has made it known that she has a dude, or you've seen her with the dude, you know. And this says, let not sin reign in your mortal body. Don't be, once again, there are things they're out of our control. There are things that are also in our control. Don't let sin control, be in control. That's why I forgot what chapter it was in Romans. It talks about how there's a conflict between the flesh and the spirit. That you should obey in the lust thereof. Once again, give in to your lust. You see a chick who has a guy, you want to go after her. That's giving into your lust. Even though there are other chicks who don't have dudes, but you want this one. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto Yahweh as those that are alive from the dead. Once again, following the word of the Lord. And your members as instruments of righteousness unto Yahweh. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under grace. And what technically, we're not under the law in the sense that obeying the law will save us. We still do, the reason why so many people are going to die is because they're going against the word of the Lord. Once again, there are things that are in our control, there are things that are not in our control. So do we still have to technically follow law to the best of our ability? Yes. Do we have to follow it perfectly? No. But once again, let not liberty be a cloak of maliciousness. Don't use that to try to take advantage of it and be a dick. Because you may try to worm your way around it, but at the end of the day, Elder Manat Zagba, South Carolina said the Mac Daddy up top, you're going to have to meet him and he's going to be the one to judge you. And he knows what your intentions are, if you're being an asshole or not. Well, but under grace, what then shall we sin? Because we are not under the law, but under grace, Yahweh forbid. So what? Just because we're under grace, which means a grace period, which means we have mercy. We're having mercy. For example, there are things that we do that we may not know of. Working on the Sabbath, right? That's a death sentence on the spot. But what? Here we are, still working on the Sabbath and all. Sabbath isn't today, but they when it is a Sabbath, working on the Sabbath. But here we are. Why? Mercy. Because he knows the position that we're in. Pork, we technically do consume pork. we not open up a pack of pork chops, but there's pork in all this food. But there's a curse that what we shall eat our bread defiled among the Gentiles. Once again, under grace. But it says, shall we sin? No. It says, God forbid. No. Just because we're under grace, we shouldn't take advantage of it. That's one of the reasons why we're in the situation that we're in. Why Yahweh Shai had to come back. Because our people were abusing the animal sacrifice. When you sin, certain sins, you have to put up an animal sacrifice because that blood had to be shed. But you had our people that would premeditate it, that would have a sacrifice already ready to commit sin. That's one of the reasons why we're here. You got niggas doing the same thing. They're swilling their way around the law. And now the scripture said, be pacified for the multitude of sins. Shit. That was a word right there. This is Sirach 34:19. The Most High is not pleased with the offerings of the wicked. That wasn't it. Sirach 5:6. And say 5 concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. And say not his mercy is great, he will be pacified for multitude of my sins. That's what niggas think now. For mercy and wrath cometh from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners. And this is very simple to understand. Are we going to sin? Yes, but remember, the Lord knows our intentions. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, and Joshua says, choose you this day who you will serve. Choose who you're going to serve. Are you going to be a demon, or are you going to follow the Lord? Verse 4 is, say not I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For the Lord's long suffering, he will in no wise let thee go. Sure, you may be a demon, but the Lord is tallying things up. He knows what's going on in your mind. I can't stress that enough, because niggas will try to take advantage of that and think that's okay. But what he wants you to fight against that, and not to want to desire to to be a demon. And it says, verse 15, Romans 6:15, what then shall we sin, because we are not under the law, but under grace? Yahweh forbid. Once again, going into your intentions. Know ye not whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey? Who ye yield yourselves servants to obey? Who you willingly submit to? Are you going to submit to your lusts, or are you going to submit to the Lord? And that's a conscious decision. But that was pretty much, let me see here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope it was edifying. Say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Mashah, Bashem, Gafdash. The Bible says, others possible teacher, and that's all I learned the truth. Shalom to hope, like is an instruction, Babylon, Great America.